Vilgax. Vilgax is an intergalactic conqueror whose true origins were erased long ago. He emerged from the Shadow Realm centuries before Alien Force, leaving devastation so complete that anyone who knew the truth of his beginnings was exterminated. Eventually, even his own people cast him out of Vilgaxia for ambitious disobedience. From that moment, Vilgax stopped seeking rule alone and began chasing something greater: universal dominance and eternal legacy. His earliest recorded link to Earth came in the 18th century when a time anomaly brought him into contact with Maltruant. While attempting to trade repairs for a Chronosapien time bomb, Vilgax witnessed a future Ben Tennyson using the Omnitrix. That single moment reshaped his ambitions. The Omnitrix became more than a weapon. It was proof that absolute power could be claimed. By the events of Alien Force, Vilgax has fully recovered from his earlier defeats. He abandons much of his heavy cybernetics in favor of ancient relic weapons like the Ruby Ray of Rouleau and the Shield of Seagull. His new form reflects refinement rather than weakness, fewer augmentations, greater physical control, and a far more calculating mindset. By this point, his reputation is legendary. Entire worlds conquered, others erased, even a star collapsed into a black hole. Fear isolates him, leaving him reliant on mechadroids and a handful of willing followers like Siphon. In Vengeance of Vilgax, he returns at the height of this strategy, having conquered world after world and absorbed the powers of fallen champions. Earth is next. He overwhelms Ben's allies and issues a formal challenge, fully confident in his victory. The final battle is brutal, ending with Chromastone's apparent destruction until the Omnitrix restores Ben as Diamond Head. Using strength, experience, and resolve, Ben defeats Vilgax under the very laws Vilgax depended on, forcing him to withdraw. Vilgax's Alien Force arc is about evolution through defeat. Every loss sharpens him, every setback fuels his obsession. He doesn't fade, he recalibrates, and that refusal to stay beaten is what makes him one of the most dangerous beings in the universe. Albedo, Negative Ben. Albedo was once a brilliant young Galvan scientist and Azimuth's trusted assistant, deeply loyal to his mentor and fascinated by the Omnitrix. In Trouble Helix, he inadvertently helps upgrade malware while under duress, showing both his intelligence and vulnerability. Over time, Albedo grows dissatisfied with the Omnitrix being in human hands. When Azimuth denies him his own, he secretly builds a copy. But in attempting to match it to Ben's DNA, Albedo accidentally locks himself into Ben's genetic template, turning him into a permanent human clone of the boy he despises. Fueled by resentment, Albedo travels to Earth in Good Copy, Bad Copy to seize Ben's Omnitrix and restore his original Galvan form. During this pursuit, he attacks multiple Forever Night castles and a DN alien hive in a ruthless campaign of interrogation, drawing Gwen and Kevin into the conflict. When he finally confronts Ben, he masquerades as the Omnitrix's creator, accusing Azimuth of deception and demanding the device. Ben sees through the ruse, triggering a confrontation where their Omnitrixes almost cause catastrophic feedback. The resulting conflict damages Albedo's human body, leaving him a twisted, negative mirror of Ben. Azimuth intervenes, removing Albedo's Omnitrix core and imprisoning him, solidifying his hatred for both Ben and his former mentor. Albedo's powers mirror Ben's thanks to the DNA link. He can transform into all the same alien forms, but his intellect and strategic cunning give him an edge Ben rarely anticipates. His obsession with reclaiming his Galvan identity drives him to meticulous planning and cold calculation, and his arrogance makes him both unpredictable and dangerous. Over time, the human traits inherited from Ben, like cravings, habits, and even physical tics, become sources of irritation and comic relief, highlighting the twisted irony of his existence. He is a boy he despises, trapped in the body he resents. Albedo's story in Alien Force is one of brilliance corrupted by envy and obsession. A former genius, he becomes a vengeful, calculating adversary, blending Ben's abilities with his own intellect to pose a truly unique threat. His drive is clear: reclaim what he believes is rightfully his, no matter the cost.
Michael Morningstar/Darkstar. Michael Morningstar was born into a wealthy family with deep connections to the plumbers. His upbringing gave him access to advanced alien technology and interstellar monitoring systems. But instead of shaping him into a protector, it fed his hunger for superiority. Wanting more than his body could sustain, Michael subjected himself to an experimental process that bonded him with unstable alien energy. The result gave him enhanced strength, speed, and the ability to siphon life energy from others to fuel himself. In All That Glitters, Michael presents himself as helpful and refined, quickly earning Ben and Gwen's trust. That facade cracks when zombified schoolgirls appear, revealing the source of his power. He drains their energy to boost himself, then escalates by absorbing Gwen's life force, overwhelming both Ben and Kevin with ease. Gwen manages to pull her energy back, taking some of his with it. The remaining victims reclaim what he stole, leaving Michael drained and broken. Kevin destroys his plumber badge, cutting him off from both status and technology. Michael's return in Darkstar Rising marks a full transformation. Now calling himself Darkstar, his abilities have grown far beyond his previous limits: energy manipulation, teleportation, gravitational control, and large-scale absorption. He attempts to drain Ben's entire group, along with a Highbreed Lord and Prior Galil, but overexertion slows him down. Ben eventually brings him down through a rapid succession of alien forms, and Darkstar is taken to the Null Void. Michael's story is one of escalation. What begins as calculated manipulation turns into reckless overreach. And while Darkstar represents a massive increase in power, it also strips away the control Michael once relied on. In the end, his obsession leaves him stronger, but far more vulnerable to defeat. Highbreed. The Highbreed from the planet Ogstaka, and once called Atasians, are one of the deadliest threats in Alien Force. Obsessed with genetic purity, they inbred to the point of sterility, leaving their species on the brink of extinction. Rather than fade quietly, they launched a xenocidal campaign determined to wipe out all other life so no species would survive if they could not. They act as a collective, fiercely loyal to their commanders and willing to sacrifice themselves without question. This fanaticism, combined with immense size and strength, makes them both physically and psychologically terrifying. Their claws fire as projectiles, chest tentacles absorb liquids for sustenance, and their bodies recover from attacks, including extreme temperatures, fire, electricity, and freezing conditions. 2 pairs of wings give them speed and mobility, while enhanced reflexes and durability make them formidable in close combat. Even base-size Highbreed can overpower Vaxasaurians and destroy concrete, rivaling Vilgax in raw power. In Alien Force, their campaigns demonstrate their scale. Episodes like Vengeance of Vilgax and War of the Worlds Part 1 and 2 show cities leveled, armies decimated, and heroes pushed to their limits. Yet their obsession with purity and strict hierarchy sometimes creates exploitable weaknesses, though few dare take the risk. The Highbreed combine ideology with overwhelming might. Their fanaticism drives them to annihilate civilizations, while their extraordinary abilities make them nearly unstoppable, a cosmic-scale force of destruction in the universe of Alien Force. Forever Knights. The Forever Knights are a centuries-old order of warriors dedicated to hunting, controlling, and exploiting alien technology. By the time of Alien Force, Sir Patrick leads a splinter faction in the U.S., operating under strict medieval-style codes, complete with full plate armor marked by the infinity symbol. Though they claim noble intentions, their true goal is profit and power, often trading in illegal alien devices and artifacts. In Alien Force, they first appear in Ben 10 Returns Part 1, attempting a deal involving laser lances with the DN-aliens, using Kevin as an unwitting middleman. Their operations show both organization and ruthlessness. They imprison alien beings like a dragon-like map maker for centuries and sabotage its ability to communicate. Despite their alliances with the Highbreed and aliens, they remain largely unaware of the larger genocidal plans of those species. Throughout the series, the Forever Knights escalate their activities. In Trade-Off, they're caught loading stolen alien crates, only to be foiled by Ben and his team, while Kevin seizes their distributor cap. By Vendetta, their tactics have grown bolder, no longer sneaking in the shadows, but openly challenging heroes with carefully orchestrated schemes. What makes them dangerous is their combination of medieval discipline and access to advanced alien technology. They may lack cosmic-level powers like Vilgax or the Highbreed, but their strategy, resources, and willingness to exploit alien tech make them a constant, organized threat. In Alien Force, the Forever Knights serve as human-scale antagonists, intelligent, methodical, and persistent, showing that even without overwhelming raw power, careful planning can create chaos.
Zs'Skayr, Ghost Freak. Zs'Skayr is the High Ectolord of the Ectoneurites, a phantom-like species from Anyor Phaetos. His obsession with power begins when he learns about the Omnitrix from data recovered by Vilgax probe. During this time, he becomes linked to the Codom stream, and when Myax inadvertently samples him while collecting alien DNA, a clone of Zs'Skayr is born inside the Omnitrix's Ghost Freak form. Trapped within the device, he is incomplete but extremely dangerous, as his alien physiology grants him powers far beyond normal limits. In Alien Force, Zs'Skayr is freed from the Omnitrix by Vilgax, but immediately betrays him, seeking control over Vilgaxia. Using his abilities, he possesses the planet's inhabitants, turning them into ectoneurite-controlled drones. This showcases his most terrifying traits: intangibility, invisibility, possession of both biological and mechanical beings, and the ability to consume souls, stripping victims of consciousness. He can manipulate his body into lethal prehensile tentacles, razor-sharp talons, and even control his own bones, making him a versatile and unpredictable combatant. His immunity to life force attacks further increases his threat level. Zs'Skayr's Alien Force arc is defined by domination and cunning. In key moments, he seizes control of Vilgaxia, builds an army, and prepares to expand his influence across other worlds. Despite being challenged by Ben, Gwen, and Kevin, his ability to manipulate both allies and enemies illustrates his intelligence and ruthlessness. Even as a single ectoneurite trapped in Ghost Freak, Zs'Skayr proves that strategy and alien abilities can make one individual a universal-scale threat.
Emperor Milleous. Emperor Milleous is the former ruler of the Incursians and father of Princess Atea. A towering, frog-like figure, he wields the Incursian conquest ray and commands enormous respect and fear among his people. Milleous is ruthless, valuing conquest and obedience over the lives of other species. He has destroyed planets, including Pluto, to enforce his rule and demonstrate his power, showing he will not hesitate to annihilate entire civilizations to maintain authority. In Alien Force, Milleous first appears when he seeks Ben and his team's help to rescue Atea from the bounty hunter 7-7. He threatens Earth with the Conquest Ray to ensure cooperation. However, Atea outsmarts him, paying her captor to reclaim her freedom and eventually overthrow her father. Milleous's relationship with his daughter is complex. He admires her cunning even as he imprisons her, torn between pride and anger. Despite his size and bulk, Milleous is agile and strong, able to overpower opponents like Ben with a single arm, and use his long, prehensile tongue both as a weapon and a grappling tool. Like all Incursians, he's sensitive to foul odors which can be exploited, but otherwise he's a formidable physical and strategic adversary. In Alien Force, Milleous represents the combination of raw strength, authority, and ruthlessness that makes the Incursians a serious threat whenever they intervene in Earth or galactic affairs.
Sunder, also known as Sunder the Retriever, is a formidable alien bounty hunter.
A hulking, gray-skinned humanoid with long white hair and a scarred eye, he combines raw strength with advanced technology. In Alien Force, he's sent by Vilgax to capture Ben and remove the prototype Omnitrix, making him one of the most direct and physically threatening enemies Ben faces. He first appears in Single-Handed, where his attack separates Ben's left hand from the Omnitrix, sending it to the null void. Sunder pursues it relentlessly, facing Gwen, Kevin, and Ben's disembodied hand. Despite his overwhelming power, the team's resourcefulness allows them to restore Ben while sending Sunder into the null void, surrounded by hostile inhabitants. Sunder's arsenal makes him dangerous beyond brute force. His energy axe can slice through objects and banish them to another dimension, and his hoverboard provides rapid mobility along with a suite of hidden gadgets. Physically, he can withstand repeated attacks and hold his own against multiple opponents at once, including Ultimate Cannonbolt, Kevin, and Gwen. His combination of durability, weaponry, and tactical cunning makes him a relentless hunter in pursuit of his targets. In Alien Force, Sunder serves as a high-stakes threat, less about ideology and more about pure efficiency. He embodies the danger of a single-minded hunter, strong, well-armed, and nearly unstoppable, forcing Ben and his allies to rely on strategy, teamwork, and ingenuity to survive.